Have you ever been picking up socks off the floor or frantically searching for the 8th water bottle that your child has lost and felt like you could be doing so much more with your gifts and talents, education, and abilities? Yeah, me too. For me, as the kids got older, the question of what else can I do besides just being a mom became louder and louder and louder in my head. But I felt stuck. I wasn't sure what I wanted to do and wondered if anyone would see value in me beyond being able to make dinner and clean the house. But I knew I was capable of so much more. Perhaps you're feeling the same. What if I told you that not only are you right, you do have a ton of untapped value, but also that the time you have spent as a full-time parent is some of the best training you can invest in to build the skills that you need to be relevant and valuable in the future. Awesome, right? I'll tell you more about that incredible insight in a little bit, but first, let me tell you a little bit about how I learned all of this. I stepped away from my career for 10 years to be with my kids. After divorce, I relaunched my career in professional development, which was no small feat given the extreme hiring bias I encountered against full-time moms. But I was motivated, so much so that I regained my former director title and began earning 150% of my past salary within a year of relaunching. Fortunately, when I relaunched, my job provided me with an incredible opportunity to help drive cultural change and implement innovative leadership development practices in some of the world's greatest companies, including Sony and Microsoft. I became intimately familiar with current research around the emotional intelligence, diversity and inclusion efforts, leadership psychology, behavioral science, and forward-thinking company cultural initiatives. As I was developing these teaching programs and engaging in the daily operations of the business going through transformative change themselves, a few things happened. 1, I noted the similarities between parenting and some of the current leadership philosophies being taught to these executives. 2, I learned a lot about what it takes to change behavior. 3, I struggled with the real challenges employees are facing in learning to be relevant and valuable to future employers. This means I fought, I fell, I stood back up, and then I fell again. Getting emotionally beat up in the process of reinventing my career and learning how I could help other moms avoid the same pitfalls that caused me and other reinventors so much trouble. I want to be clear from the start. The approach I take with my clients is unlike anything you'll ever see. Why? Because it's a combination of approaches, all mixed into one, which is a great metaphor for what is happening in today's world. Old approaches no longer work well. Why? Because tech is changing more than the way we get a ride to the airport or the way we shop for food. Tech is impacting the way we work, we learn, we behave, which is consequently changing the expectations and beliefs we have for our lives. This means that old approaches and ideas no longer work as well as they used to. Old approaches to work, learning, and job searching are losing their effectiveness and will result in more struggle than you need to go through. Additionally, you are coming from behind. Although I will help you see how you have more value than you or businesses understand right now, and I will help you learn to communicate that value, most of the world still has an extreme and antiquated bias against you. Using old methods of job searching don't work well for current employees looking to switch jobs, so they really won't work well for you. In fact, I tell my clients to not even bother submitting their resumes through online systems. To be competitive and effective in today's market, you need an innovative approach to your job search to help you negate bias, create the connections needed to land the job, and get your skills current. Don't worry, you can catch up, and more easily than you think you can. The world has changed a lot, and let me tell you, it is filled with possibilities if you are open to them. This is a truly incredible time to be alive and to be in your shoes. Can you imagine working in a job that was aligned with your values, your schedule, your passions, and your stage in life? Can you imagine working from home? Or having flexible hours that enabled you to be home for your kids when they needed you? Can you imagine working for a company that supported you taking time for the doctor's appointment or for the soccer game? It's all possible. Women just like you are doing it. Can you imagine getting a raise and perhaps even a promotion after taking the years you have away from your career? It's possible. Can you imagine your kids and spouse looking at you with respect and awe of your accomplishments? It's possible. It's all possible today. Women are rising up. They are a force to be reckoned with. They are doing it their own way, and companies are opening up to change. Businesses are starting to take action to achieve gender equity in pay and create more female-friendly workplace design. Let's face it, business was designed by men for men, based on old ideas of gender roles, and it's time to change that. We are pushing for job sharing, project-based work, part-time work, and flexible schedules, and guess what? We're getting it. On top of all of this, companies are actively seeking female representation in all meetings, especially at senior levels of leadership. Why? Because research has shown that companies with more women in senior leadership are more collaborative, more productive, more innovative, and higher rated than those without. Companies are learning that having women on a board is good for the bottom line, and that is great news for all of us women. It's incredible and exciting. This is a great time to be a woman in business, especially if you're curious, willing to learn a lot, and open to possibilities. If you're willing to really step up and make your own voice heard, your dreams can come true, often faster than you think.